In 1953, shadows moved across Tehran. This is the declassified story of how the CIA stole a country. Not with armies, but with whispers, bribes, and propaganda. A nation's fate rewritten in silence. Earlier, April 1951. The vote is in 79-12. Mohammad Mosaddegh is no longer just a politician. He is the prime minister. And for the Shah, he is a problem. The streets are bleeding into chaos. Assassinations. Riots. The National Front is weaponizing the masses, turning the city into a powder keg. But this isn't just about domestic policy. It's about the black gold. For decades, the Anglo-Iranian oil company has been the invisible ghost in the room, a foreign machine fueled by old concessions and 1933 secrets. Iran isn't a colony on paper, but on the ground, it's occupied territory. And Mosaddegh just declared war on the occupiers.
Iran stood at a crossroads. Prime Minister Mohammad Mosaddegh had nationalized oil, defying Britain's empire and threatening Western interests. To Iranians, he was a hero. To London and Washington, he was a problem.
May 1st, 1951. The world wakes up to a new reality. With a single stroke of a pen, Mohammad Mosaddegh does the unthinkable. He seizes the crown jewel of the British Empire. The Anglo-Iranian Oil Company is gone. In its place, the National Iranian Oil Company. By nationalizing the industry, Mosaddegh hasn't just reclaimed a resource. He's evicted a superpower.
In London, the boardrooms are in flames. This wasn't just about money. It was about the precedent. If Iran can walk away, who's next? Egypt, Iraq, India. To Britain, this isn't a domestic law. It's an act of war.
The threat is no longer theoretical. Western interests are hemorrhaging. The special relationship between London and Washington is forced into a corner. The diplomats have had their turn. Now, the professionals take over. The objective is clear. Mosaddegh has to go. By any means necessary.
CIA operatives slipped into Tehran under false identities. Their weapons were not guns, but envelopes of cash, forged headlines, and whispered rumors. Politicians were bribed. Newspapers printed lies. Mobs were paid to riot.
The directive comes from the top. Diplomacy is dead. It's time for Operation Ajax. The CIA and MI6 aren't just watching the chaos anymore. They are manufacturing it. The budget is limitless. The tactics? Total subversion. Newspapers printed lies. Pro-Western editors are bought and paid for. Their mission is simple: erode the hero's image until he looks like a villain. Character assassination is the first stage of a coup. Behind the scenes, the invisible hand reaches deeper. Politicians were bribed. Votes in the Majlis that were once driven by conviction are now driven by American dollars and British promises. And on the streets, the revolution is bought. Mobs were paid to riot. This isn't a spontaneous uprising. This is a scripted collapse. The goal isn't just to remove a man, it's to shatter a nation's faith in him.
On August 19th, chaos erupted. Tanks rolled through Tehran. Paid mobs surged into the streets. Mossadegh's home was attacked. Behind the curtain, CIA agents watched as democracy collapsed.
August 19th. The script reaches its final act. The shadows come out into the midday sun. The city is a manufactured hellscape. Pro-Shah mobs, fueled by CIA cash and guided by military officers, flood the squares. This spontaneous uprising has arrived, exactly as planned in the back rooms of Langley and London. At 109 Cock Street, the world closes in on Mosaddegh. Outside, the air is thick with lead and betrayal. Inside, the man who dared to defy an empire waits. He isn't just a prime minister anymore. He's a target. The plan reached its crescendo. Paid mobs surged toward Mossadegh's residence. Stones flew, windows shattered, and the fire of revolution, staged and funded, lit the sky. The military has turned. The generals have taken their silver. By nightfall, the National Front is shattered. The experiment in Iranian democracy is over. The Shah returns from exile. The oil begins to flow once more. The invisible masters have won. But in the silence of the aftermath, a new kind of resentment begins to fester. A ghost has been created. With Mossaddegh removed, the Shah returned. Applause echoed, flowers were offered, and behind the smiles, the CIA marked its success. In a matter of hours, a government chosen by the people was replaced by a monarch loyal to the West. Operation Ajax is a success. On paper. The files are closed. The assets are paid. In the eyes of the CIA and MI6, Operation Ajax is the perfect blueprint, the first successful overthrow of a foreign government by the agency. The theft of a nation had consequences. Operation Ajax lit the fuse for decades of turmoil. With Mosaddegh buried in silence, the Shah becomes the West's sentinel of the Gulf. Billions of petrodollars pour into Tehran. Skyscrapers rise, the veil is dropped. The military becomes the fifth largest on the planet. To Washington, he is the model of a modern monarch. But the great civilization has a price. To maintain the dream, the Shah needs more than just oil, he needs a shadow. October 1971. In the shadow of the ruins of Persepolis, the Shah throws the most expensive party in human history. To celebrate 2,500 years of the Persian Empire, he builds a city of silk in the middle of a wasteland. The menu is flown in from Paris. The wine is legendary. The cost? Estimates range from $100 million to $600 million. While much of Iran suffers from drought and poverty, the Shah asks his guests, "Should I serve heads of state bread and radishes?" In the basements of Tehran, the modern dream becomes a medieval nightmare. Nail extractions, electrical shocks, the Apollo chair. By the mid-70s, Amnesty International declares Iran has the highest rate of death penalties and the worst human rights record on earth. In 1978, the pressure finally ruptures the pipes. The invisible masters in Washington watch in horror as their sentinel of the Gulf begins to drown. The various factions, Marxists, students, and the religious masses unite under one banner. The weapons the U.S. sold to the Shah are now in the hands of the revolution. On January 16, 1979, the King of Kings flees his own country, carrying a small box of Iranian soil. He leaves behind a vacuum that will be filled by a fire the West never saw coming. Declassified decades later, the files revealed the truth. Nations can be stolen in silence. Operation Ajax was the theft of a country carried out by spies. And history reminds us, the shadows are never far away.